Hello, hi guys, it's Inam here with the iPhone 7 versus iPhone 6s in a selfie camera comparison of the front-facing cameras. Now if you've got an iPhone 6s, you may be wondering, is it worth me upgrading? So my first question is, can you guess which one's which? iPhone 7 or iPhone 6s? On this beautiful but chilly day, Saturday morning here in the UK. I'll give you a second and we'll give the cameras a little bit of time here to quickly adjust to the change in light as I pan around. We've got the iPhone 7, a 7 megapixel shooter with an f-stop of 2.2 on the left hand side, and we've got the iPhone 6s with a 5 megapixel shooter and an f-stop of 2.2 again on the right hand side. Did you guess correctly? What I'm noticing from the screens here is that the iPhone 6s seems to have a tighter shot. The iPhone 7 seems to be getting more of the image into the camera. I'll need to watch this back, but does that sound about right to you? So we'll come up close here, see if we can pick up much detail on my face and on my stubble. And certainly iPhone 6s seems to be a lot closer to my face, even though both devices are the same distance away, and picking up quite a lot of detail. I'm gonna say not quite as detailed as on the screen of the iPhone 7, but definitely detailed indeed. What do you guys think? We'll just do another pan around here while the sun decides to hide. But yeah, iPhone 7 seems to have a wider angle compared to the iPhone 6s. Seems to have a little bit better color as well. If you look at the shade of my skin on the iPhone 7 in comparison to the iPhone 6s, seems a little bit lighter and colorful rather than a little bit darker on the 6s. But let's take some selfies. Now it gets a little bit harder to tell the difference, but if you look carefully at the stubble on my face on the image on the left, it tends to be a little bit more defined than the image on the right hand side. The right hand side image does also have a reddish tint to it compared to the slightly yellow tint along the left hand side, making me look a little bit paler. And this is particularly given away by that light bulb shining through the glass in the doorway behind. As I say, slightly reddish on the image on the right, slightly yellowish on the image on the left, and you've got the iPhone 7 on the left with the iPhone 6s along the right hand side. And with those megapixels, as I say, the iPhone 6s has a 5 megapixel shooter with the iPhone 7 having a 7 megapixel shooter. So when we crop in here, we get plenty amounts of detail. But again, this just gives us a greater depth of what we already know. A reddish image on the right hand side, more detail on the image on the left. And if you look at my eyeballs there, they tend to be more defined on the image on the left, but the color reproduction seems to be a little bit more better along the right hand side, where you can see that my eyes are actually brown instead of a very dark brown on the image on the left. Let's move on to HDR mode. Both images here taken from each respective handset with HDR mode. Now, I really would be interested how many of you actually use HDR mode. Do let me know in the comment section down below. But if you look at the iPhone 7 image along the left hand side, I think this looks slightly better than the regular image without HDR, because the color representation is better. If you look at my eyeballs there, they actually appear brown instead of a very dark brown, almost blackish, and obviously while still retaining the detail. The image along the right hand side, more of the same, pretty much a reddish tint, and that detail is not quite defined. Now for those low light selfies, we've got the lights off and the curtains drawn, and you'll notice straight away the image along the right hand side from the iPhone 6s has more noise in it. Still has a reddish tint even in low light, but definitely more noise and less detail compared to the image along the left from the iPhone 7. Still has quite a lot of detail there, obviously not quite retained in low light, but definitely not as much noise compared to the iPhone 6s. We've used the front-facing flash here, and the image along the right-hand side here from the iPhone 6s has seemed to have lost the reddish tint. Great amounts of detail even in low lighting conditions, but obviously not quite as detailed as the iPhone 7 along the left-hand side, which seems to be doing a good job at both the detail and the color balance even in low lighting conditions. There we have it guys, that was a selfie camera comparison of the front facing cameras, the iPhone 7 versus the iPhone 6s. Do let me know in the comment section down below which one you prefer, which one looked more accurate and detailed. And if you've already got an iPhone 6s, my advice is not to upgrade. Keep your money, save it till next year when it's a 10-year anniversary of the iPhone. There may be more bells and whistles on that device to come. But as ever, anything else, hit me up in the comment section down below. Please like, subscribe and tag along on social media @InamGaffar. Thanks for watching, have a wicked day, and I'll see you next time.